Hey guys, I'm Satvik today, and today we are gonna talking about the interesting topic and the first chapter of class 8 NCERT syllabus is the force and pressure. I know that sounds great, and I think it's the best chapter and the most interesting chapter in the class 8 syllabus. So, in this video, we are gonna only talking about the force, its types, and the effects of force, the cause of force. Okay, then we'll start from the definition of force. What force is? Force is a push or pull on an object due to interaction with another object. Yep. Imagine you are pushing a wall, and I know that do not comes in motion when you push, but then also it is a force, whether it do in motion or it don't. Okay, now moving on to characteristics of force. Characteristics of force, it has both magnitude and direction. What's magnitude? Magnitude is the amount of force or the amount of force you apply on the object. Okay, that means it's a vector quantity. Those who don't know what vector quantity is, then I'm gonna explaining them too. There are two quantities. Two quantity in the universe. One is the scalar and one is the vector. The scalar quantity is which has only magnitude. Okay, but it don't have this direction. That means it only have numbers, no direction. And here the vector is which have both magnitude and direction. Yep, that do not comes in class 8, but you will be studying this in your higher classes. If you want to note this, then you can note, or otherwise it's not in your class 8 syllabus. Okay, now moving on to the next characteristic of force. Yep, when more than one force is acting on the object, then the single force which produces the same effect by all forces acting together is called net force or resultant force. I know that you'll not understand only by definition of this, but we'll discuss and I'll explain you very well. Then there are two cases of this characteristic. Case 1. Case 1 is when the force is applied in the same direction. Like when you and your friend applies the force on a wall on the same sides or on a block. Like if you applies the force of 5 Newton and your friend applies the force of 10 Newton on a box, what is Newton? Now I know that some students don't know what is N. Okay, N is the short form of word Newton, which is the SI unit of force. Okay, note that. And come on the topic. Then the net force or the resultant force would be the addition of these two forces, which is 5 plus 10 equals to 15 Newton. And don't forget the unit, you have to write N with the number. Okay, then the second case is subtract the smaller one from the bigger one. Yep, we have to subtract the smaller one from the bigger one when the forces are not applied in the same direction, they are applied in the opposite directions. Like if you are pushing the box from this direction and your friend is pushing the box from this direction, you both are applying the force in opposite direction. You are applying 10 Newton, your friend is applying 17 Newton, then the net force or resultant force would be 17 minus 10. When we subtract 17 from when we subtract 10 from 17, it becomes 7. And don't forget the unit, we'll write 7 Newton. Okay, now we'll discuss about the causes of force. The cause for the force is interaction between two objects. Interaction doesn't mean touching each other, but it can be occurring without touching also. Like the gravity, I know I'll explain gravity later in the video, but here you understand like this. Now, it's a question. What is the question? The question is, what is the SI unit of force? Yes, I have told you just now the SI unit of force is Newton or N. Okay, but you will be writing Newton, otherwise the teacher will not understand what N is. Okay, then here is a fact. Sir Isaac Newton. Who is Sir Isaac Newton? Is a famous physician and mathematician. Yep. He was born on 4th Jan 1643 in England, and he was died on 31st March 1727. And why I'm telling you this? Because he had a great contribution in the world of force and pressure. He is known for Newton mechanics, universal gravitation, optics. Yes, optics is the study of light. We'll discuss that in class 10th and 12th and also 8th at the last chapter, because the last chapter is light of physics. And one last is binomial series and etc. Okay, now moving on to back on the topic effects of force. Yep, there are effects of force. It can move stationary object. Example, when you kick a ball, object which is at rest, not in motion. Yes, the stationary means not your class stationery or study material. It's not stationary in physics. In physics, the stationary is the object which is not in motion, which is at rest. Okay? Yep. It can change the speed of a moving object. Example, when a goalkeeper stops the ball, he don't stops the ball immediately. The ball once slow downs on his hands and then it eventually stops. Okay, it can change the direction of a motion of a moving object. Yeah, it can change the direction of motion on a moving object. When the batsman or when the famous cricketer Virat Kohli hits the ball, then it changes its direction. It goes out of the stadium. Yeah, it can change the shape of a moving object. Oh, sorry, not moving object. It can change the shape of an object. Okay, let's discuss the example. Example, when you compress a balloon. When you compress a balloon, then it changes its shape. Try this at home. Okay, now we'll be discussing about a question. Yeah, spring fixed. Yeah, here is this situation. Apply force, how the force is applied, and what's the change in motion and change in shape. If yes, then tick. If no, then tick in the another column. Okay, now we'll be discussing about the first situation, which is spring fixed at seat of bicycle by sitting in the apply. How the force is applied is by sitting on the seat. Okay, change in motion? No, I think no, there is no change in motion of the seat. Seat remains there only. Seat don't moves when you sit on it. Change in shape? Yep, there is a change in shape when the mattress on the sheet compresses when you sit on it. Okay, and now the second situation is stretching a rubber band. and how the force is applied is stretching it outwards. Okay, then the change in motion will be no, because there is no change in motion. It remains on its position. It's only stretched. It's not moved. It's not in motion. It's only stretched. Motion is when you change the coordinates of the body, okay, or the place of the body. So that's no. Change in shape. Yep, there is a change in shape. It is stretched outwards when you stretch a rubber band. Okay, now we'll be discussing about types of force. The first type is contact force. When the force occurs when the object touches each other. Okay, I said you when the force occurs when the body or the object touches each other. Example are like when you push a box. When you push a box, then there is a force acting upon it, which is contact force. And there are two types of contact force. One is muscular force and one is frictional force. Okay, we'll be firstly discussing about muscular force. The force exerted by the muscles is called a muscular force. Example, pushing a box, I said you before. And the second is frictional force. Frictional force is the resisting force opposite to the relative motion. Now here you'll ask, what's resisting? Okay, then resisting will be preventing from this from the force, from the second force. Like when the ball rolls down then on the floor, then the floor resists it. The floor stops it. So resisting means stopping. Okay, and what relative motion is? You'll ask that also. Okay, let me give you an example. You roll down a ball on floor. Then the rolling down is relative motion. When you roll down, it's relative motion. And when the floor is preventing it or resisting it, it is the friction. Okay. Now let me give you an example of friction. Moving toy car stops after some time due to friction. Rubbing your hands against each other. When you rub your hands to generate heat, like this, to heat in winters, yep, there is a heat generated, which we'll discuss about that in the effects of force. Okay, now the effects of force. Effects. The first effect for force is heating. When we rub two objects against each other, it generates heat. I have gave you one example before, when you rub your hands, and when the Mercedes or BMW runs on a track, then the tires of the car gets so hot. The second effect we'll be discussing about is slowing down. Yeah, slowing down is an effect of friction. The object slows down and stops as long as the friction is acting upon it. Like rolling ball. When you roll the ball, it eventually slows down and then eventually stops on the floor. That's because of the friction. If somebody asks you that, then you will be telling him loudly that it's because of the friction. Okay, then now we'll be discussing about non-contact forces. Our first non-contact force, or the first type of non-contact force, is magnetic force. Yeah, exerted by magnet on another magnet material. Yeah, on another magnetic material. Example, iron nail, cobalt, etc. The many metals, or the most of the metals, are attracted by the metal. You'll see when you attract the iron nails, they attract each other. Yeah? No. Iron nails don't attract each other. When a magnet is near the iron nail, then it will attract. Okay? Now, the characteristics of magnetic force are like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. Understand? Now, the second gravitational force. In the universe, whether small or large, every object is attracted by another object through this force. Yes, this force is gravitational force and it is the most important force and it is the only force which Newton have told us when the apple falls on his head. Yeah, we'll discuss about more in the class 9th. So it's your class 8, then we'll discuss small about that. There is not a separate chapter for that now, but it will be in class 9th. Okay. Its magnitude depends on the mass of the object. The greater the mass, the more the gravitational force, or the lesser the mass, the less the gravitational force is acting upon the another object. Very long range force, yeah? And weakest force in nature. Very long, like when the sun attracts earth by the gravitational force, otherwise the earth will go anywhere else, will not be able to see the sun if sun's gravitational force would not be there. And yeah, it's the weakest force in nature. Like you are attracting all the glasses and the objects near you, but they are not coming towards you or you can't see them because it's too weak because of your mass. Your mass is so less compared to the sun. That's why you are not attracting any object towards you. But earth's mass is great, that's why you are here. You are standing on it, otherwise you'll be roaming in the space. Now the next topic is electrostatic force. Oh, not the next topic, it's the second, or we can say the third type of non-contact forces. Force exerted by a charged object on another charged or uncharged object. Yeah, stronger than the gravitational force. Yep, it is the stronger than the gravitational force. It's not the strongest force, but it is stronger than the gravitational force. Yeah. Now the examples. When you rub the ball on your head. No, not the ball. I have written here wrong. It's not the ball. It is the balloon. Balloon. When you rub the balloon on your head or on the hairs, it attracts small pieces of vapor. Don't you know? If you didn't know this before, then try this at home or take a comb and rub it on your head. Then also it will attract. Understand? Okay. Now our force topic is completed, but the pressure topic is left. We'll be discussing about that in the next video. For that, until that, I'll be saying you one word. Yeah? Can I say it? I can say it without your permission. Bye. Bye, guys. We'll meet in the next video. Until that, goodbye.